Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Force Strategy Gaming, and it is time for a mirror matchup. I've gotten a lot of requests to do some commentaries for mirror matchups, and I have a hard time finding them, but I have decided, well, I found a ZVZ, so I will go ahead and commentate it. We have got a matchup between EG's StrifeCro here in the far left-hand position, the 9 o'clock of Metalopolis, as our yellow Zerg player, and then in the far right-hand position, the 3 o'clock as the blue Zerg player, Complexity's MVP, DRG, DRG. Again, Zerg vs. Zerg, game number 1 here on Metalopolis. Alright, so it has been quite a while since I personally have commentated any mirror matchups, so certainly, well, I'm looking forward to it. I guess I look forward to all my commentaries, though. I just have a blast doing it. We can see right now, DRG opening up with what appears to be a 9 pool. And what is StrifeCro going to be doing himself? He's doing a little bit of the extractor trick over there. Sitting at 11 supplies, going to allow him to come out with those additional drones there. Overlord also popping. Going to want a few more, so still a little bit delayed. We might be seeing a 14 or 15 pool from StrifeCro, and I wonder how effective that's going to be against DRG's almost completed 9 pool that we did see him come out with. So we can see that spawning pool for DRG about 3/4 of the way finished right now. Here comes that extractor, just now coming out with an extractor over here, and still no pool here from StrifeCro. I'm a little bit concerned, in all honesty, deciding to go with that 14 pool. So 9 pool now complete. Here comes some Zerglings. Just those 6 is what we'll be seeing to start out with. And let's see how effective that is going to be. Now, StrifeCro is, of course, going to rely on his drones to buy himself some time until his spawning pool finishes and he himself can get some Zerglings. And we're actually going to be seeing more and more Zerglings streaming out here for DRG, deciding to come out with a few more there. We'll be seeing on a total of 8 in this initial push, then starting to get some drones here. And here comes that queen, but this first set of Zerglings directly moving towards StrifeCro's base here, and we can see that spawning pool very close to finish. In fact, that should be finished by the time the Zerglings actually make it into StrifeCro's base. The problem is he's going to have to wait for those Zerglings to actually come out. So now it's a matter of micro and unit engagement and whether or not StrifeCro can not lose too much in this push. So here we go, DRG moving up now with that 9 pool of Zerglings and already forcing some mining downtime here. And again, StrifeCro just trying to buy time for his Zerglings to pop. Now the big thing that DRG is likely to do here is try to pick them off while the numbers are small, and that's exactly what's happening. A bit of micro right now, trying to pull back there, moving to the safety of the drones. Biggest problem though is that there's a lot of time right now where StrifeCro is just not mining, as DRG keeps up this aggression, able to do a significant amount of damage, and you can see there are no more Speedlings coming out to continue this push, but DRG just trying to keep up this aggression with what he has at the moment. So just kind of dancing back and forth. However, now that that queen is up, he decides it is time to push back. Now the question is, was it worth it? Was it worth it? Well, let's take a quick look here. Was able to kill off exactly 0 workers, only killed 2 Zerglings, and that is that. Now we take a look at the income as well. You can see DRG a fairly strong advantage. If we take a look at the fact that he is getting Vespian now, he does of course lack the one major thing, which is going to be that metabolic boost that is just about finished here for StrifeCro. And we are going to expect StrifeCro to attempt to capitalize on that fact, knowing that DRG pushed out so very early with those Zerglings. He also knows that he lacks the metabolic boost research. Trying to push up, that gets denied by DRG, placing a queen and a couple Speedlings there on the ramp. So very nice response there by DRG. We can see that creep spread going down as well. Obviously also giving an advantage to StrifeCro, but the biggest thing for DRG is he wants that extra vision. He wants to be able to see as much as possible. Both players still just on the one base, and actually right now StrifeCro just coming out with that expansion. Also both players working their way up into Baneling's Nest. Looks like DRG will get that a little bit sooner. And you know, DRG there completely negating the fact that StrifeCro has this Speedling research, because he's completely denying him from getting inside of his base. So he's using just those unupgraded Zerglings plus that queen to block that ramp, and it really doesn't matter at this point that StrifeCro has those Speedlings. The biggest thing though that StrifeCro is doing right now is delaying DRG from getting out that natural expansion. Now that that metabolic boost is finished, the Speedlings will be able to engage the Speedlings there of StrifeCro, and here comes a counterattack right now. Massive Speedlings here from DRG, and they will be moving straight towards that natural expansion and trying to do hopefully significant amounts of damage to it. We got a Spine Crawler coming up over there. We got a couple of Banelings working their way through. Also some Banelings coming out for StrifeCro, so now it's going to be about a big micro battle, and who can micro their Banelings more effectively against the Speedlings of the opponent. And this is the problem with coming out for this quick expansion, is that you run the risk of this. Now we've got a couple of Banelings moving out to try to intercept. Banelings also moving out. Oh no! StrifeCro losing all of his Banelings there to the Banelings of MVP's DRG, and DRG now able to take out that expansion and move up into the main of StrifeCro. So now StrifeCro is back to one base. DRG sitting with a bit of control right now, moving into the resource line, busting on a bunch of those workers, and then just kind of dancing around. A few more Banelings have just popped now for StrifeCro, so DRG is going to do his best to try to stay away from that. DRG also coming out with that expansion, so very nice response there by DRG, opening up as the aggressor, letting StrifeCro expand, preventing him from getting into his base, and then just taking out that expansion. That was absolutely beautiful play there by DRG, and unfortunately for StrifeCro, losing all of his Banelings there to, I believe it was 2 Banelings of DRG, was able to pop all of the Banelings of StrifeCro and prevent them from getting up to the Speedlings of DRG, which was able to take out StrifeCro's expansion. StrifeCro will be trying to delay the expansion further right now with those Speedlings. Also target firing down those Banelings with single Speedlings. That's exactly what you want to do there. Excellent micro from DRG. Unfortunately for StrifeCro, not able to get any of those Banelings to bust on the bulk of those Speedlings, but DRG delaying that expansion. Pretty phenomenal indeed. Now back over here, we're still seeing more Speedlings and Banelings. There is no transition planned right now at the moment for either player. They're just going to be sticking Speedling, Baneling heavy. Really very, very dangerous to try to tech up at this point, because you run the risk of just being completely overwhelmed by a push. If your opponent scouts that you're, say, teching up and you're trying to do a switch into Roaches, or you're trying to do a switch into Mutalisks, anything like that can become a little bit dangerous if your opponent scouts it out. Again, they can just completely overwhelm you. A couple of Banelings used to try to defend the main. That one busting without doing much damage. However, there are enough Speedlings over here from DRG to be able to stop that small amount of Speedlings from doing much of any damage. Few Banelings moving across the map here for StrifeCro. Back inside the main base, again, no transition, just Speedlings and Banelings from both players. Also going to be trying to utilize those Spine Crawlers as some additional defense. DRG getting a second Spine Crawl over here. Here come the Banelings, though. Here come the Banelings for StrifeCro. And now what we want to see from DRG is what we saw over here, just kind of peeling off. A little bit of an engagement going down between these 2 small packs of Speedlings. And again, right now, DRG doing his best to try to force the cancel of this expansion. He's getting it very, very low. The Banelings moving back over here, and they're going to be pushing towards the main base to try to defend, and StrifeCro so very low on that hatchery, very, very dangerously close. It's only going to take 1 or 2 more units there from DRG to be able to bust that, and we should be seeing, there we go, the Banelings pulling back there for StrifeCro, doing what he can to try to defend this expansion, trying to get a nice spread of those Banelings. So if we see any more pushes from DRG's Speedlings, the Banelings should be able to just bust right on them. Like the fact that we are actually seeing a hatchery being placed down here for StrifeCro, and what this is going to allow him to do is cut back on the possible surface area that DRG has to hit, and that's going to protect this hatchery, but still the hatchery incredibly vulnerable, even if it sees a transfuse or 2, very vulnerable. As we can see, a Roach transition right now coming out from both players, so both StrifeCro and DRG feeling comfortable right now to move into the Roach phase of this matchup, and we see this so very often in CVZ, Speedling, Baneling, and then Roach or Muta. Like, it's basically what we see a majority of the time, and here we go right now, DRG moving forward with a few of those Speedlings. He's also got a couple of Banelings over here. Looks like those are prepared to push down. DRG threatening to push and hit this expansion, moving back and forth right now and just taunting with those Speedlings and trying to lure out. And what is this? The Banelings moving down here into the resource line and popping that hatchery. And StrifeCro just not realizing that that was happening. He was too distracted by the Speedlings at the front of his base. That was a critical error, my friends. Losing that, very devastating. That's the second time that StrifeCro has lost this natural expansion. Very, very problematic. Yes, he has his hatchery, but look at the route that those drones have to take to be able to get there, and the Speedlings continuing to push back, and right now we're going to be seeing an economic advantage in favor of DRG, and that's going to allow him to mass up a much stronger Roach force. We can even see already coming out with those level 1 missile upgrades, which is something that StrifeCro is just not in the position to do. In fact, oh my gosh, StrifeCro attempting that third expansion. Nice micro there. Unfortunately, the Baneling popping there, and another Baneling popping on that side. That was beautiful play there by StrifeCro, trying to get himself back in the game, but I'm just going to say that he is a little bit too far behind economically. I really am concerned for StrifeCro right now, because we are going to see a massive Roach push here from DRG. already sitting with 15 roaches, a level 1 upgrade as well, and StrifeCro is just not in a position to be able to pump out those many roaches. And actually some more econ harass there. Got a couple of those Speedlings pushing down into the natural expansion, killing off a few workers. DRG managed to kill off a total of 13 workers. Unit to loss tab. StrifeCro significantly behind, as we expect, losing those 2 expansions, and here comes the very strong roach push from DRG, and this looks like the game is going to DRG. I see no advantage right now at all for StrifeCro. The only thing I could possibly see him doing is attempting a counterattack against DRG and trying to do some economic damage himself. But DRG has such a strong income right now that he is just able to completely mass up these roaches. Look at that, 22 roaches and 28 Zerglings as opposed to 8 roaches and 9 Zerglings. Now we've got 14 roaches about to pop, but look at that, level 1 upgrade just about finished right now. And DRG is going to have the opportunity to actually snipe that roach warren. He's focused on the roaches for now though, and the upgrade is going to help him tremendously at this point in the game. As StrifeCro waits for that upgrade to come on through, these roaches are going to be tearing through the roaches of his. We got one Speedling trying to do some damage over there, but I'm not sure that's going to make much of a difference. And we're going to take a look at the unit loss tab go up and up and up for StrifeCro. And again, it's the fact that the upgrade for DRG finished before StrifeCro's that is allowing his roaches to completely tear through what StrifeCro has right now. StrifeCro's roach upgrade there, that range upgrade just finishing, but he is down so low right now, losing more and more and more, and just calling that GG. We saw some very impressive expansion harass from DRG, managing to kill off StrifeCro's expansion 2 times in this game, giving him that economic advantage to tech up heavily into roaches, getting that level 1 upgrade just before StrifeCro was able to, and this roach push proves to be way too much for StrifeCro to handle. Alright guys, that was game number 1 here between StrifeCro and DRG. We'll be moving on to game number 2 in just one moment. As always, if you like the content, please subscribe. Thank you for watching. Keep watching and keep owning.